Hey guys, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today's topic is basically why do erectile problems happen during sex? All right. Now, this is something that's happened to me and in the past, just being honest, and it's happened to a lot of guys. But the subscriber question they asked was basically, Dr. Sam, I have problems during sex. When it's time to get intimate, I basically lose my erection, or sometimes during sex, I basically go limp. And he says, I don't have a problem when I masturbate. This happens mainly during or around sex, and I'm feeling really embarrassed, and I think she's going to break up with me. Any suggestions? Um, so, like I said, this has happened to me before, and I can share with you exactly why. But let me tell you what the reason is. This is just what's called, performance anxiety. Now, even though most guys will lie and say it never happens to them, trust me, it is very common, and you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. Typically, this can happen to younger guys, or if you're in a new relationship. And in fact, just an idea popped a story from a porn thing that I was consulting with a long time ago. But basically, the common denominator is you're not feeling confident, or you're not feeling comfortable. You're just feeling insecure, whether you're aware of it or it's a subconscious thing. And maybe it's because of something that's happened to you in your past, right? Or maybe it's because something she said that then triggered negative thoughts, or maybe your body starts to get stressed out because of this. You start overthinking. Again, it all starts with the head, and then your heart rate starts to accelerate because you're nervous, or you're anxious, or you feel stress, right? Adrenaline goes up, stress levels goes up, and this also tends to reduce blood flow to the penis. When adrenaline goes up, it's fight or flight, not fight or fuck. Okay. And what's interesting to know is that parasympathetic nervous system, the one that relaxes, promotes erections. All right. While the sympathetic nervous system, the stress response, inhibits them. Thus, you want to be relaxed to get an erection, but when you're stressed, you can't get an erection. All right. Um, so you need to ask yourself, what's causing this stress response that you're about to have sex with, right? Well, most likely you get in your head, all right, and you start to think all these negative thoughts, all right. Maybe again, something that happens to young guys. Maybe my penis isn't big enough, the guy's thinking, or you're not sure how to satisfy her, or maybe you don't have enough experience, or maybe you think about her past, or her other boyfriends, or maybe she's had sex, and then you start, the guys that she's had sex with, and then you start comparing yourself to them, or basically you go inside your head with different like porn movies that you watch, and then how this reality is different than the porn reality, and all of a sudden there's a disconnect because you've been in fantasy world, or maybe it's totally something unrelated. Okay, maybe stress at work, maybe money problems, maybe personal issues, and so forth. Or worst of all, maybe this happened in the past, maybe a long time ago, or maybe a previous one, and that you lost your erection, and now you're worried it's going to happen again, right? So it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because what happens is you start thinking about it, what happened, oh shit, all this stuff, you get stressed, and then that again, that triggers the negative hormones, and then you go limp. Remember, what you focus on expands and grows, in this case, not grow. All right. So negative thoughts produce negative feelings, which produce negative actions and ends up in negative results. This is everything in life. All right. Let me repeat that. Negative thoughts, all right, produce negative feelings, which produce negative actions, which then produces negative results. Now, I'll get to a thing, but remember earlier I said popped in my head. I was remember this guy's name was Seymour Butts. Okay, that's the guy's name. His name was Adam, and he was the one who had made all these videos in the old days in the Valley. And again, I used to go to the same gym, and then a friend of mine's like, "Hey, let's go." When I see those porn shoots, and the guy behind the camera was like, "Hey, man, I can totally do this stuff." And then Adam Seymour Butts says, "Look, this is a lot harder than you think." He's like, "No, man, I want to be in front of the camera and all this stuff." And then Seymour's like, "Look, Trust me, it's a lot more stressful when you're going to be in front of the camera. All right. This is why this guy can get hard all the time. He's been doing it for, he's like, no. So the guy took a Viagra, 100 milligrams of Viagra, and he says, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. Action. And then the guy started to go limp. Then he said, all right, let me try again. Went limp, went limp. And then Adam, Seymour Butts guy says, I told you, man. All right. So-and-so guy, I forget the guy's name. He's been in porn for like in the 70s. And this guy was a pro. He's like, look, this guy can get hard instantly, anytime, and can come on demand. All right. He says, that's why he's the top guy. He's my money guy. He's my expert. And this guy still, he could never get hard because why? He was stressed. He had anxiety. The cameras are on him. Yet before, he could do it. So my whole point is even guys in the industry, they get stressed, and that is never good for your penis. So let's talk about how we can fix this. All right. When I consult guys, privately and all that stuff, I try to get to the root problem. Sometimes they're like, hey, is it my hormones? Is it that? Could be. Testosterone obviously improves things. Blood flow obviously improves things. But if it's a psychological reason, like I mentioned, first of all, we got to first recognize that, there's performance anxiety is common. All right. So don't beat yourself up. Again, I told a story. It's happened to me. I really liked the girl, but she kept saying about this guy in the past and that guy in the past. And I was ready to go. And when it came time for me to take action, it went limp. And next time I took a Viagra, I was like ready to go and this and that. And then I got my head and immediately my heart rate went up and went limp. All right. Those are my first 2 times I was with her. I got my head. Eventually I got over it. And this is what I want to tell you. And then things were great, but it's understandable. All right. It doesn't mean that if you can't get hard, that you're not man enough, or maybe there's an attraction problem or something like that. So keep that in mind. The other thing is you want to be focused, being mindful during intimacy. All right. Basically, practice being present in the moment rather than worrying about your performance. All right. Again, don't focus on the destination as much. All right. Just focus on the journey, as the saying goes. Pay attention to how good it feels, the physical sensations, your partner's reactions, how you're feeling, your pleasure. And I know this can be difficult, especially for someone like me I have ADHD. Like during sex, it feels good, this and that, and my brain goes somewhere else. Did I do this for work? Did I do that? Got to go to the gym. I got to call this guy. Is she enjoying it? Yeah, this feels good. Hey, it's just like all over the place. So it's very difficult. I got to keep practicing and keep practicing to kind of bring back at the moment. Again, it's like doing reps at the gym. You got to just keep practice and practice and practice. And I promise you, it'll get easier and better. Another thing you want to do is, I got to be honest with you guys. You got to be honest with your partner. You got to communicate, let them know, hey, sorry, I just got anxiety and it's got nothing to do with you. My brain went over here and I thought about that. And then that, made me feel weird. And most girls will understand. Maybe the younger girls won't or something. But as long as you let them know that, hey, it's not you. This is exactly what happens to me. My brain thought that. And then my head went there and then I went limp. If you express it without being angry or pointing fingers or blaming or, playing the victim role. No, I don't know what is it. You know what? Don't, because that gets in a bad place. You're fishing for something. Just be honest with her. Hey, this has happened. Sometimes it happens to me. I apologize. Maybe chick's going to be like, hey, I get it, or I understand. Or she might say, oh, it's never happened to me before. Well, all right, good for you. This has happened. Do you want to work with me? And cool. If not, then drop her, dude, because she's not going to be able to understand you because she's not mature enough. So keep that in mind. Another thing you want to do is ultimately just remove that pressure on yourself that I got to perform. All right. I got to get hard instantly. I got to stay hard the whole time and then come on cue. All right. You're not porn. This isn't that, just remember, it's not about reaching that goal, right? Just keep that in mind, or it puts too much self pressure on yourself. That's not good. Just for example, just get intimate and just do things that turns you guys on. You can do foreplay. You can do all sorts of oral this and that. It's not just about having sex, that getting your pressure like I got to get hard or nothing else happens. As long as she gets satisfied in one way, shape, or form, you have mouth, you have tongue, you have your fingers, and then eventually she's cool and you feel more relaxed, and then you can do your thing and the penis can get hard. Again, if this starts to happen, remember, you got to calm things down. All right. So you have to basically relax the body. Remember, I said the parasympathetic and sympathetic are all right. You want to relax the body. And one way to do it is exhale in like for 3 seconds and then exhale out for like 6 seconds. So you double the exhale, 3 in seconds, 6 out. All right. However, if you wanted to get like ready for go, all right, it's like 3 in, 1 out, 3 in, 1 out. But yeah, if you want to relax, it's 3 in, 6 out. And that really does relax your body, relax the penis. In fact, this is a great way for you to just relax at night and fall asleep if you have a problem falling asleep. Now, the other thing is rather than, again, putting so much pressure on, hey, I got to perform, get hard and take action, make sure I come. Again, just focus on all the other things. All right. That reduces your pressure and she gets satisfied. I told you guys before, there's so much you can do with your tongue and your fingers that eventually once you've relaxed and she's having a good time and you're in the moment, then the pressure is off and you can then perform. But if you imagine, you immediately be like, hey, she's taking out my pants or this and that, I have to immediately get hard. It's not the movies, guys. All right. By the way, even on those porn movies, on the sets and all that stuff, you got to understand they had fluffers in the background helping guys get hard and stay hard. And these guys all took lots of drugs. And in fact, at some point, I remember a long time later on, these guys would, when I would tell them different things to get hard and stay hard, they would just inject their penis with drugs, prostaglandins, and basically things that immediate. So it's like you inject it, you immediately get hard in like 30 seconds and you stay hard. Okay. So why do I say this? Because these guys even had problems. All right. Because their thing was, I got to perform. And I would ask them like, hey, do you have a problem like this? When you're just private with your girlfriends or whatever, they said, no, but right now, there's so much pressure that I got to get hard and perform that it makes it sometimes difficult. So keep that in mind. Pressure is bad. The other thing you want to do is limit drugs. Again, alcohol and marijuana is definitely not going to help it because they reduce your testosterone levels, reduce blood flow. Tobacco is not good. So if you're already having these pressure problems, you can't do that. You want to optimize your testosterone, improve your blood flow. And again, I got links below this video on how to do all that. Again, you got to be patient with yourself with everything in life. It's a new muscle. You have to just learn to do it. And the more you do it, the more practice you have, you'll get better at it. Don't focus on the bad things that could happen because again, you'll get more of that. Focus on all the positive things. All right. Again, I know I'm dragging this out. I posted links below on how you can improve your libido, harder erections and all that stuff. But honestly, this happens to every guy, even though most guys will not admit to it. It's happened to me. I know it's happened to other guys when they finally let me go. Again, when I consult a lot of people, they all tell me the same thing. All right. All of you. So you're not alone. There's hope. Just keep doing it. Again, be open with yourself and her. Anyhow, I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was, what questions you have, what things you need more clarity about. Again, this was helpful. Share it, like it, subscribe, and do that stuff. All right. Thanks.